This is the second worst job performance since 1945 in terms of recovery from a recession. We shifted workforce development away from the public sector to the faltering private sector. Is it any wonder that we continue to have problems? When we thought about workforce development in the past, it was mostly about meeting markets. But increasingly, we also need to mold and make markets. Molding means changing the conditions of employment. Making markets is understanding that it's no longer fitting into an economy that's functioning. One of the things that's really emerged if you're trying to make a market is to figure out what are the sectors that are growing, lever public policy to help grow that sector. We are going to have what are called low skill, although they require lots of skill, service jobs in the future. How do we improve the quality of that employment? Institutions matter, connections matter. It's not simply creating these opportunities, but figuring out why it is that people don't wind up connecting. This has not been an accident of disadvantage, it's been built into policy. If you really want to work for equity, you need to fight for justice and support the organizations to do that. The idea of engaging and linking up to constituencies that can actually move change and articulating the policies in relationship with them is absolutely crucial.
There's at least $3 trillion of infrastructure and green building investments that are long overdue in the United States. We are at the place where we have to increase the quantity of jobs that are available, improve the quality of jobs that are available, then job access. And we are doing this specifically for low-income communities of color to make sure that these communities are now front and center and owning and driving that process. We are really pushing for a new type of energy economy, which is community-owned, community-controlled.
In Europe, we try to focus in on moving young adults from poverty to professional careers within 1 year's time. We've served more than 14,000 young adults, opportunity youth. Our most recent graduating class in the Bay Area graduated earning $23.25 an hour.
We're living in the most unequal country in the OECD roster. The answer is in the streets. The answer is with the people who have the least. The answer is underserved communities of color, the people who are not part of the ownership quadrant in America. And unless we come up with policies and projects that result in jobs and economic development tires that we can kick, we are just talking to ourselves and we are not doing our job. Finance, while important, is always secondary to labor. We think in terms of one-offs and we don't think in terms of ecosystems. And unless you think in terms of ecosystems from the very beginning, your one-offs are never going to be sustainable.
We have to make education relevant and rigorous so that people understand what it is they're going to school for. I think that it's not that hard to engage people and to get people to invest in themselves if there is a real path that is accessible in a short period of time. And that's the promise that we have to deliver on as a society.